Now, on the 26th of June, 1986, 10 Umkhonto weSizwe members were lured to their deaths and buried as paupers in unmarked graves. Using drone technology, the remains have been found. This means that the families who searched for their loved ones for over 30 years will finally be able to have some closure. Our reporter Malungelo Booi joins me live now from the Old Winterveld cemetery. Malungelo, a very good morning to you. A very emotional process this. After 30 years, some families will get closure.
That's right. In fact, Mpho, let's go back a bit. I mean, this was something that happened in 1986 when these young people who became known as the Mamelodi 10 were really lured by Joe Mamasela at the time, at the pretense really that they were going into exile when they were in Zerast. Their vehicle that they were traveling in fact, we're told that it was involved in a fake accident which saw their taxi burst into flame, killing all of them. We're told that they bent beyond recognition. At the time, then, you know, they're buried as paupers, as you rightfully said. But, I mean, 9 of them, Mpho, their remains were really found in 2009 and have since been reburied. And what's currently happening behind us with authorities from the National Prosecuting Authorities Missing People's Task Team, what they've actually been doing, they're busy trying to exhume the last, remains of the member of that Mamelodi 10. And they were saying, in fact, to us, Mpho, that this one, it has been quite an intricate one because they battled for years, really, in trying to locate, the 10th grave where this man or this member of Umkhonto weSizwe had actually been dumped or buried. And what they have been doing now is to try and, it's quite an intricate process, and they're also trying to be quite gentle with the process as they try to, exhume those remains. And they're taking their time because also the family of the man whose remains are actually being exhumed here have actually not arrived here. And because I listened a bit earlier to them, they're also quite concerned, at the state of those remains, because at the time when when this incident happened, or when these young men bent, we were told that they were bent beyond recognition, and some of them actually, it was so difficult to actually even identify them. Mpho?
Malungelo, you speak about the state of the remains, but we know that this process has been a rather lengthy one, running over the decades. Talk us about the use of the drone technology. How significant has that technology been in, bringing some sort of closure to the families who lost their loved ones?
I mean, it's quite important, Mpho, because in this particular instance, I must say, because they were saying that they actually even battle to locate this particular grave and these particular remains, and saying that they had to use drones and had to use special software and map so that this remains of this man. And they're saying that it's actually the drone that has also been, and the special technology that they were able to use, that they were able, in fact, to identify that this grave had, the same, it had all the hallmarks of the person that they were looking for, the state of the remains, and were badly bent, and some of the clothes. They're saying that the special technology that they used was able to help them, and they're sure that this is actually the grave that they've long been looking for, and this is the person that they've long been looking for. And they say that this will actually help to bring that closure you talk about to all the families of the so-called Mamelodi 10. The family has not yet arrive, were told that they were still making their way to the cemetery. And I suppose, you know, it's even though this will sort of like give them closure, I suppose they will have so many questions. Bear in mind that the people that were behind the killing of those, you know, Mamelodi 10 had actually appeared before the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and there was, you know, given amnesty at the time. So it's going to be interesting to hear what the family says about this entire process and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, especially considering the fact also, Mpo, that for years these families, as you rightfully said, in fact went searching for these young people, not knowing, for these men, not knowing, Mpo, where they were. You know, it's actually going to be interesting to hear what these families, the family, especially the family of this last, you know, of the person of whose remains are being exhumed, actually will say about this entire process.
Thank you so much. Let's leave it there. Our reporter Malungelo Booi just monitoring that story. The last body of the Mamelodi 10 being exhumed by the NPA's Missing Persons Task Team. Of course, we know that this investigation started in 2005, and of course, a really, you know, fantastic time as the families are finding closure. And of course, as Malungelo Booi says, lots of questions remaining as to how and when and why. And we will continue to be monitoring that story as and when it develops.